r/AskReddit, what's the worst date you've ever had? My wife wanted to plan our 13th wedding anniversary. I was excited because usually I plan it. She bought us some new golf discs and after a quick supper we went to play. We hadn't played in forever. We were laughing and I had a great time. She served me with divorce papers and told me that date was a test to see if she still had feelings for me. I also learned that she was having an affair that started well before our anniversary. Oh boy, finally my time to shine. I talked to a girl on Tinder 8 years ago. She got drunk and told me to come over because her and friends were playing strip poker. I was on overnight duty so sadly I could not partake. 30 minutes later I receive a picture on my phone that I couldn't even make out. I handed my phone to my roommate and asked if he could figure it out. He says, dude, that's a butthole. It surely was. She had taken a picture of her butthole from a measly 0.5 inches away and it was so close up I could barely tell what it was. I thought to myself, if this is how she lets the rest has to be great, spoiler alert, was wrong. She tells me we should finally meet next weekend at Applebee's. I meet her there and she looks beat, like she had just run 5 triathlons and been awake for a week straight. Not 3 minutes into meeting and sitting down she says she has to use the restroom. She doesn't come back for 30 min plus. The waiter comes up and says he has seen her here multiple times and she has been known to shoot up heroin in the bathroom and pass out. I am very not into this at this point, but for her own safety I ask if a waitress could peek in the bathroom and see if she is okay. She was not. She OD'd and died. So that was a thing. TLDR, my Tinder date showed me her butthole then OD'd and died at Applebee's. Got set up on a blind date once between mutual friends. She shows up to the restaurant already a little tipsy, orders multiple appetizers and only takes like 1 or 2 bites from each one. Then she proceeds to order 3 or 4 more drinks and is visibly drunk at this point. She gets up and says she's going to the bathroom and staggers off. About 15-20 minutes go by, so I try to call her several times but no answer. Finally I decide to pay the check and just leave. About 2 hours later I'm sitting at home and I get a call from an unknown number. It's the police department. She was picked up on a DUI on her way home after she ditched me and gave the cops my number to see if I could go bail her out. Well, I gave this answer on a different topic, but it ties in with this. We were out on a date. We had been seeing each other for a while, close to a year maybe. She gets a phone call. Suddenly she looks destroyed. Her fiancé had just died in a motorcycle accident. Came out from a movie late at night and date's Camaro was stolen. Apparently, he called his wife, that I did not know he had, and let her know where he was and what happened. She showed up and realized he was on a date. She started chasing me around the parking lot telling me she was going to kill me. Saved by the cops who showed up just in time to take the auto theft report. I went over to a boy's apartment I had hung out with a few times already to watch a movie. In the middle of the mov, i.e. he stuck his finger in my belly button. We weren't even cuddling. Just randomly turns towards me and puts his finger in my belly button. I said to him, get your finger out of my belly button, to which he responded by making a weird noise similar to an adult using baby talk and saying cuckoo to a baby and wiggled his finger still inside my belly button. I left immediately, never talked to him again, and my friends still refer to the situation as belly button boy. Went to brewery. Date said I had hairy arms and that meant I was horny. Said you look really awful in this light and then tried to dig out of that hole by saying in his native language that was a term of endearment long-term couples said to each other. 0/10 did not date again. Was told we were going to dinner and then shopping. I drove to the town, 1 hour each way, cause he didn't have a license. He directed me, didn't know my way around at all. 2. Burger King. Okay, I'll work with it. Standing in line, a worker accidentally leans on a packet of ranch. It breaks open and shoots at me, right on the front of my nicest shirt. Profound apologizing commences. I ended up paying for dinner too. Then we went to Walmart, where his mom worked, so he could get a discount. Didn't buy anything. Drive home he starts apologizing out of nowhere. I thought it was because of the bad date, until the smell hits me. He passed gas and I had to legit pull over and roll the windows down a while. Edit. To address a few frequent questions, no more official dates with him. but we did continue to see each other several months. This was high school, and I was older than him. I, 35F, met a guy, 41, on Bumble, had dinner plans to go to a wing joint. I asked if we were still on a few hours prior. He says yep, just gonna shower and jerk off. I joked and said something like, whoa there Mr. Perv. TMI, which apparently offended him greatly, as he blew me off for our date. When I asked WTF after the fact, he said he thought I was mad, so he spent the evening anger cleaning, and told me don't ever call me a perv again, but asked if I'd want to meet the next day. Why I said yes is anyone's guess. We meet at Tim Hortons for coffee. He starts by joking that my soon-to-be ex-husband is going to show up to beat him up. He says this repeatedly, even after I explain the ex is out with his girlfriend, and continues to eyeball the windows nervously. Then, after sitting down with our coffee, he asks if I want to go to his car to get some gum. No, thank you. A few minutes later, he asks again, and then again a few minutes later. Dude, if you want some gum, go get it. I'll be right here. He harumphs, does not get the gum, and we continue talking, where the conversation devolves into him ranting about how Hollywood is shoving biracial couples down his throat. I ask if he has any big plans for the evening. He states he's going to go home and jerk off. At least he has a hobby. We walk to the parking lot after the fact, and he asks if he can kiss me. Now, I had just got out of a 14-year, affection-starved relationship, and hadn't kissed anyone but my ex in that time. So, stupid me, said yes. He kisses me, then grabs my arm in a death grip, and drags me to his car as I struggle to get away. Thankfully, his dumbers hadn't cleared the seat off before his abduction attempt, so as he's trying to manage holding on to me while clearing off his seat, I managed to wrench my arm free, run to my car, and get the hell out of there. Not necessarily a date, but a person I was dating invited me to his parents' house for the afternoon. He wanted to introduce me to them and show me the house he grew up in. I thought it was super sweet and had no problems going. He was also in the middle of moving and needed to pick up a few things, so it really didn't seem that unusual. Yeah, we got there and it was awful. His entire family was there. They traveled from hours away too. This was not just meeting the parents, it was meeting the entire family. Even worse, at some point, this jackass told his parents that he had proposed. We had been dating 2 months. I spent the entire afternoon dumbfounded and just playing along. We were 2 hours from home and I had no cell service, no way to leave at all. We ended up spending the afternoon brainstorming wedding ideas and planning an Alaskan honeymoon that his parents planned to gift us. His brother even called to say congratulations. We drove back to his apartment in silence. When we got there, I got in my car and left. Didn't even bother grabbing my stuff. Weirdest experience ever. I have no idea how he broke it to his parents that we weren't getting married. Met up for dinner. We seemed to hit it off well in the first few minutes, until I started feeling the worst pain ever in my side. Turns out I had a kidney stone. I unfortunately had to nope out of that one very quickly. She had blocked me via text when I abruptly left dinner, so she never got the message that I ended up in the hospital. I didn't see her for years until we ran into each other at a bar, me with a different girlfriend, her with her husband. Capital I explained what had happened. She felt pretty bad, but hey, no long-lasting harm done. I bought her and her husband a drink, chatted for a few, and left them to finish their evening together. Literally shat myself on a date once. Wasn't technically a date, but the guy had a farm. He took me to see the animals, feed, act. I walked away for a few minutes and overtrusted a fart. I just looked at him and asked if he could please take me back to my car. He wanted to know why and I said because I pooped in my pants. Guy had a super nice truck and made me sit on my feet all the way back to my vehicle. We actually ended up dating for 2-ish years, and somehow me shitting myself on the first date was the end of all jokes. I went on a date with a guy who picked me up and said he just had to swing by his work before we went to the restaurant. No problem. He works in a dental office as an assistant, so he invites me into his work. The office is clearly closed and no one is there, and all the lights are off. Okay, a bit weird, but maybe he just forgot something really important that can't wait until tomorrow morning to pick up. Nope. He's going to the medicine cabinets and taking out a few bottles of ketamine. Okay, I'm now an accessory to theft of dental anesthesia. There was no second date. I told my date before we went out that I was divorced, just as a heads up. She pried for more information and I tell her my wife had an affair. She starts joking about it, then asks to see a picture of my ex and the guy she left me for. Then she called her affair partner cute. Oh, and she spent the other part of the date calling me fat.